Okay, good day students. Today we're looking at another function. Can I change up the plan a bit? I was going to look at the lookup function, VLookup, and you have several of them. You have, they all work kind of similar. You have VLookup, HLookup, X, as in X-ray, XLookup, but they all work on a similar premise. Alright, notice I said similar. Alright, now V actually means vertical, H horizontal. So traditionally when this formula was just created, this table right here would have to be below the array, this data set right here. But that is no longer the convention. We're talking about from way back in the day with Excel version from 97, 98, 95 versions, those way back when versions. Alright, but that convention no longer applies. Now here is what happens. When you're writing the VLookup function, it works something like this, right? So you write equal and of course the function VLookup, right? Now you open the brackets to put the arguments, right? As in what you're going to do. So equal sign starts every formula, every function. This function in particular, VLookup. Now the thing is, what are you looking for? That's the first thing you need to define or state in the argument. VLookup. So in other words, lookup. What are you going to look for? You want to look for this value and then put a comma. Now for some spreadsheet, you might have a semicolon. But in the hint area here, there's a little hint or tip or screen tip, whatever you want to call it, mine is a comma. So some versions will actually have a semicolon. So VLookup, open brackets, put the argument in now. What are you looking for? What are you looking up? You're looking up this particular value. Alright, now you're looking up this. Now where do you want to make reference from? Where do you want me to look for it or compare? I want you to look at this table over here, this table array over here. This table array that has 3 columns. Alright, 3 columns. So I put the table arrays from J2 to L6. J2 here to L6 down here. Alright, then put a comma. And then now I can decide to put how many columns the table has. 1, 2, 3 columns. So I put 3. Alright, now what will happen is that the table, the computer is going to look in the leftmost column for 15 and try to estimate where 15 would fall and return the value that's in the 3rd column. So right, so 3, the 3rd column, then put a comma, and then now this part that says when I put true, approximate match, or false exact match, because I don't expect to find exactly 15 or the 71 and those values there, I will put true, then close the brackets, and that's my lookup function. Now there's an issue here. Notice the first one worked out correctly, but when I copy downward, I am going to have a problem. I copy downward, I get move up, alright, then I get NA, NA, NA. Let's just click on one of them. Let's say click on this one. Wow. So look at this one, I realize the table array here is moving downward, it's moving out of place. While I wanted to move from E2 to E3 to E4 to E5 and to E6 as where we are now, it's also moving the table array J6 to L10. I don't want that to happen. So how do I prevent this now? I need to go up here and make the table array, this table array, not the E2. I want to make this absolute. I want to fix it or anchor it or make it absolute, the appropriate term, to J2. In other words, don't move from column J, don't move from row 2. And also the ending of the range, don't move from column L, don't move from row 6. So I make that absolute. Press enter. And now when I use the fill hand to fill in, I should get a true reflection of what should happen. When I come down here, still saying, it's saying E9, which is what I want, looking at the 41, but now it is saying the same table array. And here's what it says now. So for people who get 0 to about less than 30, don't come back. We don't want you back at our school. Yeah, I know we're kind of rude with this, but just having a bit of fun here, right? So 30 to, let's say, 59, you can say reset the grade. All right, 60 to, let's say, 74, you can move up. We're moving you up, no problem. You're advancing. 75 to 89, you're on the honor roll. And then 90 and upward, skip a grade. All right, so that is what happens. Now, let us look at this. What if we want to return the letter grade in the second column? All we need to do is to change this 3, right? Just change that 3, change the 3 to 2. And then now we get the letter grade that the persons get. So it now returns the value in the second column, just by stating that we want the second column's value to be returned. So when it said 3 or 2, we're not really saying that the table array, the area that we're looking for the data to return for the VLookup, we're not saying it has 3 columns or 2 columns. We're simply saying we want the data in the second column to be returned, or in the first instance, the data set in the third column, which was when it had don't come back, reset, move up on a roll, skip a grade. That was how it worked. Now there's something else I want to make note of. Let's just say you're stuck here and you don't know whether to put true or false. If you simply press enter there, the functions will still work. The computer will decide for you which one you want. So if we go here, copy downward, it would work just the same way. We don't have to put true or false. Or let's delete that and put 3. That would still work. So if you don't put true or false, the computer will decide for you whether it should be true or false. Now this applies to the newer versions, version 2007 and even earlier version to 2003. I'm not sure they have this. I used to write the function back in those days, but I don't remember. You're talking about over 17, 18 years ago, yeah? So, but if you're stuck with that version, then you may need to upgrade, because the truth is, I'm not forcing you to, but some of the material and the features in this tutorial and most that you're going to find online, you will not really find what you want necessarily. All right. And there's one other thing I forgot to tell you with the VLookup. All right, let's put back true here. All right, comma, true. And this says approximate match. So it's approximating, right? But what if you put false? What happens in this situation if you put false? Let me tell you what happens there if you put false. When you put false, what you're basically saying, you want to find exactly the values that are here: 0, 30, 60, 75, and 90. So when you copy downward here, if you don't have these exact numbers over this side that you're looking up, it won't work. See? 75 returned a value because that's exactly what we wanted. That is what happened when you put false. You have to have the exact number here listed in the left side over here, or else it will not really work for you. So let me say put 0 now. 0, that works fine. If I put 30, that works fine. Put 60 here. Now I get a value. I'll go down here. Let's say, for example, put 90. That will work for me. You see, I have to have the exact values. If I have approximations or ranges, it won't work. That is what it means when I say false. It's looking for the exact number here must exist over here, or else you will not get the correct or corresponding value that you need, whether it's in the third column or the second column. All right, that is basically how lookup functions work, and you can do a bit more too. Don't think this is the end of it, you know. Let me just undo this for a while. Go back to normal. All right, fine. So this is what I have. All right, true, making sure that's there. So I can even add more to this. I can say, oh, let's say I say multiply by, let us say 10%, which is 0.1, and I get the answer, a value here. Well, in this case, I'm returning actual words, so this probably wouldn't work so much for me right now. But let's say I put something else here. Let's say I put 50, 60, 70, for 40 and let's say 30. Now you see it actually works, because now I'm putting numerical values here, and if you notice, what it actually did was to find 10% of whatever was returned. So don't think that when you write a lookup function, that's the end of it. You can actually, you can actually add a little bit more to it, or even add other functions to it. All right, because it has numerical values. Notice 10% of 50 is 5. 10% of this number, 60 right here. Am I rounding? Yeah, could be rounding. And 56. Yeah, it works basically. All right, so that is how it works. All right, so that is giving a general idea of what should happen when you work with a VLookup. You can still advance it further to do more calculations and so on. I hope that was pretty clear, and hope you learned something about lookup functions. All right, don't worry about HLookup, XLookup and so on. They work in a similar manner with a little bit more features, but that is basically what CXC requires from a lookup function and so on. Hope that was clear and didn't have any problems with that. All right, have a good day everybody. Good night.